Hello guys, welcome back to the new video. On today's video, we are going to talk about the upcoming report by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's the CPI report. That's going to be released on August 15th. And this report is going to favor the cryptocurrency market, including Bitcoin and altcoins. It was said that the CPI will drop from 3% to 2.9% in July. And core CPI, which basically excludes food and energy prices, is going to drop from 3.3% to 3.2%. So August 15th will be important for the crypto industry. But that's not the reason for the current pump of the Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency market. The primary reason for that is the recent jobless claim report published by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It was said that the jobless claims dropped from 250,000, which is basically the report released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics prior to the week before. And in the recent week, it was found that there was a reduction in the jobless claims and it reduced to 233,000. So this is a good news. This is why the cryptocurrency market pumped. Or you could say they have risen. And this report, right, these two data, the jobless claim data came after the non-farm payrolls report. And it was from this report that it reduced the unemployment rate, which is 4.3%. And this rate was found to be the highest since 2021. So we have a really good news because the CPI report is going to favor investors who have invested in cryptocurrency products. But I don't know where the money will go. But I expect people to buy into the deep-in or AI narratives or deep-in or AI projects. Anyway, this is a good news, but there is another good news, a huge news that will impact the cryptocurrency market for sure, with certainty. That's the Fed rate cut. That's going to happen in September. The irony of this is that we all thought high inflation will cause increase in Bitcoin's price, but that's not the case. Bitcoin is working as all other risky assets. And people are rational or reasonable enough to bet on the government than the cryptocurrency market. That's what we witnessed here. Because Bitcoin's entire purpose is to hedge against inflation. But that's not happening here. Anyway, we are expecting a Fed rate cut in the upcoming month. And different organizations have different perspective on how the rate cut is going to be. Some expect that the first cut will be 0.25% or others expect a 0.5% rate cut. Some banks like ING and Citi expect a 0.5 rate cut, while others like Goldman Sachs and Society Generale expect a 0.25 reduction or rate cut from the Federal Reserve. A Polymarket poll also predicts several rate cuts this year. So there will be several rate cuts over the year. And there is much evidence that after the Federal Reserve's cut rates, cryptocurrency market tend to gain traction or rise in value, or there will be increase in price. There is much evidence. Like if you look at the March 2020 rate cut, when the Federal Reserve or Fed slashed the official cash rate to zero. This was primarily due to the coronavirus pandemic. Due to this rate cut, Bitcoin rose to a record high of $69,000. It happened in 2021. So there was a year-long difference, but it impacted the cryptocurrency market. So there will be no immediate effect, but it could be different now because there is lots of good news for the cryptocurrency market or crypto industry. Anyway, and the same happened in 2019 when Fed cut rates in July, September and October. This also was a boon to the crypto market because after the rate cut, people tend to move the money from savings account or short-term bonds to high-risky assets like Bitcoin. That's why Bitcoin rose by 90% in 2019. And the reason why the upcoming rate cuts by the Federal Reserve will have huge impact on the cryptocurrency market is that there is a huge amount of money in money market funds where investors are earning 5% annually. So what's basically a money market fund is that it's basically short-term debt, where the public can buy this debt, or you could say bond. And if you buy into this bond, it's safe. That means you wouldn't lose your fund, and it's less risky, and it gives high yield too, relatively high yield. So what happens is that when the Federal Reserve cut rates, the amount of money that's going to the cryptocurrency market will be huge. That's what's written here. One reason why cryptocurrency might do well when the Fed starts cutting rates is the significant amount of money in the bond market, which is basically debt that's issued to the public. And short-term debt, not a long-term debt. And it gives a high yield. That's all. And it's not risky. very low risk. You understand? That's why when rate starts falling, this one will likely shift to riskier assets like stocks and cryptocurrencies. That's all. So this is a huge news, bullish news, and it's going to impact the market and it's going to make us rich. I think it will have an immediate effect on the market unlike before because there is a huge value that's been locked in the money market funds and that's going to be released after the rate cut. And with this rate cut, we are going to be rich. So the next news is about Putin legalizing cryptocurrency mining. Only Russian legal entities and individual entrepreneurs included in the register will have the right to mine. This basically means only individual entrepreneurs or legal entities, which could mean anything. Company is a separate legal entity. It could mean a company. So anyway, it's a legal entity. Have to register with the authority. Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin signed a law legalizing cryptocurrency mining in Russia. And you have to understand, you can mine cryptocurrency as long as you don't go beyond the energy consumption limit decided by the Russian government. Like here, it is that only Russian legal entities and individual entrepreneurs included in the register will have the right to mine. Individuals who do not exceed the energy consumption limits set by the Russian government will have the right to mine digital currency without being included in the register. As the law legalizing cryptocurrency mining in Russia is passed, this law introduces new concepts including digital currency mining, mining pool, mining infrastructure operator, address identifier, and the individual who organizes mining pool activities. Mining itself is recognized as a component of turnover, not the issuance of digital currency. That means when you mine, right, you are not issuing any digital currency. You are just take part in a network. What you are essentially doing is that you are providing service. So what happens here is that as you make money while mining, you only have to look at the turnover because you are not the issuer of digital currency. The digital currency or digital or virtual currency is issued by the network itself, right? And it is issued by the protocol, meaning a consensus mechanism that does the validation and pay the fee to the miner in accordance to how much power or energy he gives to the network, right? And also help in the verification of the transaction. He doesn't do anything. Basically, what he does is provide a service to the network, and the protocol does the issuance, not the miners or the users. So that's what they're saying here. And according to this document, foreign digital financial asset can be traded on Russian blockchain platform, and the Bank of Russia will have the right to ban the placement of individual issues if it finds a threat to the Russia's financial stability. That means they are liberalizing the issuance of foreign digital assets or financial assets, basically virtual currencies. These currencies can be issued on their blockchain, their own Russian blockchain platforms. And you have to understand this point. The Bank of Russia will have the right to ban the placement of individual issues. Like if this is not coherent with or compliant with their system or financial system, or if it threatens their financial system, they will ban it. You understand? So they don't want these digital tokens to affect the integrity of the nation. They want the banks intact. They want their banks. And they are just allowing these tokens just to be traded and used. So they are cautious about integrating virtual currencies as a medium of exchange and to be used in a way that's against the banking system. So they are basically against any digital currencies that goes against Russia's financial stability or their banks or the Bank of Russia. So they don't want digital currencies as a medium of exchange as of now. And Putin himself said that at a meeting on economic issues that he would create a legal framework and regulation to develop infrastructure and create conditions for circulation of digital assets. So they are planning to integrate digital assets into the economy. I don't know how well this will perform, but I think there will be strict conditions to it. I don't think they will allow some peer-to-peer model where there are no intermediaries like the bank, because the government needs to know what's happening, right? They need to track everything. Or otherwise, what's the point of the government, right? They need to know what you're doing. So if you lose your fund, they will be there to take up your complaint. So the duty of the government is to protect citizens. That's all. And people have the right to use cryptocurrency or money. That's their choice. But I think they will not allow any P2P models because this will affect the Russian government. I believe they are going to allow cryptocurrencies traded on Russian blockchains platforms. But it will be under the scrutiny of the Russian government. Putin is not going to allow anything that doesn't involve the Russian government. So this law will enter into force in 10 days after the date of its official publication, except for certain provisions within the law, for which a different date of entry into force is established. So the law will come into force 10 days after the date of its official publication. But the certain provisions within the law will only be enacted or come into force at a different date. That's why it is said that except for the provisions for which a different date of entry into force is established. I hope you understand. We are seeing cryptocurrency mining being legalized in Russia and in other countries too. So this will be a boon to the cryptocurrency market. So in the upcoming months, we will see huge traction in the cryptocurrency market, and this will be a good news. And we are witnessing a huge pump. Anyway, I'm not boring you. That's the news for today. If you love the video, kindly subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you. Have a nice day.